You are listening to Pharmacy, IT, and Me, your informatics pharmacist podcast. Hey everyone, Tony Dow here, and welcome to another episode of Pharmacy, IT, and Me. And as with every episode, we start off this one stating that the intent audience for this episode are actually those who are thinking of furthering their education in healthcare informatics. So today's episode, we're going to be talking a little bit more about what I'm doing now. And currently I work at several jobs with my primary one as an informatics pharmacist, but what we're going to be talking about is that I'm currently in school part-time at the University of Illinois at Chicago to pursue my postmaster's certificate in healthcare informatics. So today's episode is basically going through reasons why I decided to be in this program and what kind of benefits I found. I'm going to say this from the very beginning that these are my personal reasons why I decided to go for additional education, and by no means is this the right or the wrong answer for you. I have my own reasons for it, and I wanted to let you guys know what my thought process was, and maybe you can, pick up some ideas of how to think about it in terms of pursuing further education for yourself. So the first question is, why did I pursue an additional educational program at all? When I initially thought about doing this program, I already held a CPHIM certification, as well as a few other similar ones, so technically I already had some knowledge behind healthcare informatics in addition to pharmacy informatics. And one of the questions that I usually get is, why even pursue going back to school when I already have professional certification? So this is multifactorial. So going back to school, it provides me a structured environment. So even though you can completely, buy all the textbooks and, look at the textbooks that's needed and learn from them and learn additional information like, healthcare, like networking, telecommunications, etc. The self-motivation part is very difficult to have. For my previous certifications, I was self-motivated because I knew specifically there would only be 1 or 2 large study guides to actually go through in order to pass the exam and become certified. However, for the program I'm in, I know that the body of knowledge necessary for the certificate in healthcare informatics has a lot of material to go through, and that requires a large number of informational textbooks, right? So it's hard to stay motivated and on task with my own busy schedule. So to take away the planning part of it, I wanted to be part of a school program that, the syllabus and the course structure it's already set in stone for me. So it's basically someone telling me what to do, when I need to do it, what to read, what to learn on certain weeks. So then I just go and do it. So I maximize my time learning rather than planning to learn. So the other benefit is learning from others in the field. So the very nice thing about being in the school program is that you have interaction with other classmates. The unique part of this program that I'm in is that my classmates come from a variety of different backgrounds. Some are clinicians, some are students who just finished a bachelor's degree, and some are very technical geniuses. And, the different backgrounds allow for very intellectual conversations with a lot of substance and experience. Granted, the program I'm in is actually an online program, so there's not much of a face-to-face interaction that I would like. But, with technology nowadays, the online program's asynchronicity allows me for maximizing my time appropriately for education while still having somewhat of an interaction with my really amazing classmates. Another thing is broader knowledge. So I am an informatics pharmacist, so primarily my focus is on the pharmacy side. The program that I'm in is more general than just pharmacy because it encompasses all of healthcare informatics as a whole. So sure, I had some knowledge about it through studying for CPHIMS exams, but it's a different experience when I'm back in school to learn specifically through a multitude of coursework material that teaches healthcare informatics broken down into different core concepts. So another question that I get is, why did I end up downgrading myself to a postmaster's certificate rather than the full master's degree program in healthcare informatics? So this was more of a decision on time and cost. I get partially subsidized through my employer for some of the education, but there's still a large chunk of it that's still my own out-of-pocket expense. And I was accepted into the master's degree program, but after further review of the curriculum, I felt that the postmaster's certificate was a better choice for my financial responsibility without having to sacrifice the knowledge that I could obtain through the program. It's kind of interesting how it's structured. The postmaster's certificate program requires you to already have a master's degree or higher to even qualify for it. And since I have my PharmD degree, I can take the postmaster's program. For the master's degree, you don't really need to have an existing master's degree. I mean, you're in a master's degree program to get a master's, so it kind of doesn't make sense to have a master's already first, right? So anyone can actually apply to it and potentially be accepted given that, they meet the application criteria. However, the postmaster's degree is slightly shorter than the full master's program by, about maybe 10 units, which is actually significant in cost. And a major difference in the curriculum comes down to practical experience, which the postmaster's degree doesn't require something like a thesis or major capstone project, while the master's degree does. So that's kind of like part of that extra 10 units. And in my personal situation, I didn't feel like I needed to go through a full-on master's program because I'm already getting all that real-life experience in my day-to-day job. So the postmaster's program was a better fit for me, and therefore I switched my courses over to that program. It's still nice though because the postmaster's program courses also overlap with the master's degree students, so I still get interaction with individuals in the full-on master's degree program. So one other quick thing to mention is that there's a question sometimes about a certification versus a certificate. So my CP HIMSS is a certification, and this postmaster's program is a certificate program. And I decided to pursue the certificate in addition to my certification because the certificate acts a little bit more like a degree than a certification. So in certifications, you can still lose them if you don't do the continuing education and renewal fee, while a certificate stays with you for the most part. It's not a major reason why I decided to pursue the certificate program, but it's also something I think people should be aware of since it may matter to some folks out there. So those were some of the reasons why I decided to pursue further education in healthcare informatics, and also why I decided to go through, doing the postmaster's certificate program rather than the master's degree. And remember though, you may not even need to go further into the general route of healthcare informatics if you already have a very niche role. Maybe look into different programs out there and see what they have to offer, and look at the cost of the program to see if it makes financial sense to you. And don't do it just to do it. It should be a good match in order for you to get the most out of it. Alright, if you guys like this episode, you can subscribe and rate us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or any of your other favorite podcasting services. You can also follow us on social media on Twitter or Facebook at PharmacyITme, or our Instagram at Pharmacy Informatics, or by emailing me at tony@pharmacyitme.com. And before we go, I wanted to plug again a great networking opportunity called Pharmacist Connect. It's a Slack workspace for pharmacists, pharmacy students, basically any pharmacy professional with a license. And there's different channels in there. There's even an informatics channel as well, and I've met some great colleagues on it. You can find out more by visiting pharmacistconnect.com, which is PharmacistConnect.com. Thank you again for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode of Pharmacy IT and Me. And remember, technology is a tool, patient care is the goal.